So to continue my global learning project, this is my interaction number 2. And for my interaction to show my person a little bit about my culture is I took her to my sister's house because my sister is a student here at MSU and she has an oven. So I went to her house because I live in the dorm and I don't have access to that. And I decided to make a dish that I usually eat like for holidays and prepare it with Caitlin to show her how we cook it and that how we eat it. And yeah, that's where I start. So the dish that we decided to make was chicken flacking, which I talked about in my first video I recorded. It's just noodles and ham, but it's an Austrian dish that my mom and usually I help during the holidays, usually Christmas, which is part of my culture. So what I decided to do is we decided to make it together, and it was lots of fun. It was kind of a little awkward at first, she admitted, and she said it was awkward going to the house. She was nervous about eating it and like whether she'd like it or not because she is a picky eater. So it was kind of fun, like seeing her try these new things. And also at the end of each meal, I and my family and we always drink coffee and tea. And she admitted, she's like, oh, we do that too. But usually her family and um, her don't usually eat dinner together at the table, which that's a huge thing in my family and like throughout the years and stuff. And her family's more like, oh, we'll eat maybe on Sundays together. So it was a little different. So like I said before, Caitlin was very nervous before coming over and when I invited her. But she said at the end that she like just didn't want to go home because we had so much fun and we learned more about each other because we went from having coffee for like an hour to like hanging out for like 2 to 3, and it was a lot of fun, and she said that she was happy that she got to experience it. So what I think I was mostly concerned about was her telling me that she's a very picky eater and that she doesn't really like her food mixed, and the noodles and the ham do mix a lot in the meal, so I was really nervous she wouldn't like it and that like that would ruin her time like being there. And she doesn't cook either, so I'm not a big cooker, but like I really like making dishes like this, and it's very simple, but I was scared that she just wouldn't have fun with it. And she ended up liking it a lot, and that felt like a huge accomplishment for myself. So while we were cooking, Caitlin didn't really have any weird reactions that kind of set me off, but we both talked about it, how like we were both concerned, like we wouldn't have fun, or like I was very nervous at first, like kind of like talking a little bit, not a lot, because it's different hanging out with someone from just having a cup of coffee. So it was a little different, but like I feel like after those nerves went away and we started being a little, weird and having fun and playing the music while cooking, it started to become a lot of fun and those nerves totally went away and it was totally worth having her over and I had a lot of fun doing it. Caitlin also agreed how she felt concerned that she wasn't going to be enough fun and all that stuff, and she said she started to bring her wild side out during when music started playing, and she said she loved dancing and opening up, and she loved that feeling, and it was a lot of fun, she said, and she said that we should do it again, and I think that's why this global learning project is a huge like fun activity because you meet totally new people that you wouldn't think you would have talked to at the beginning of the year. So while we were cooking, Caitlin explained how like her mom makes special dishes during like the holidays like Christmas, and that like me making food reminded her of home and she like loved that. She's from Michigan, so she went home this weekend, she told me, and she said she just loves it. And she said she wanted to like try a dish one time like from her culture for me to try, and I was totally for it, and hopefully me and her can hang out again soon and make that dish. Just to add another thing, like I said kind of towards the beginning, my family drinks tea and coffee to settle food at the end. I know a lot of families do that, but like that's like huge in my culture. Like my grandma and grandpa like were huge about that, and like Caitlin was really happy because that's what her family does and have done throughout the generations. And she said like it's kind of funny how certain cultures are kind of the same in some ways, and I think that's how we kind of connected a lot. And I was happy that we got to do this interaction.